Wow.
So I came to Atlanta about 9 years ago to do pediatric emergency medicine at Scottish Rite. So that's how I got to Atlanta. And then everything started moving around from there.
Okay, so then we get to Atlanta.
Yes.
9 years ago.
We get to Atlanta.
And then take us from the 9 years ago up to 2020, up to the doorstep of this crazy year we call 2020.
Yes, I was pediatric emergency doctor, loving it, working night shifts. And then I ended up getting sick in 2013 with atrial fibrillation. So it's like a diagnosis you get when you're in your 70s, but some kind of way I got it at 30 something, and I was in my really good health. And so I had to gradually figure out that I couldn't do nights and holidays and weekends and, you know, those crazy hours in the ER.
So it's something you can't really cure. You have to just manage. Is that?
No, you can. I ended up having 3 procedures for it. I tried medicine. It didn't work. And then I had 3 procedures for it, and now I'm good.
Okay.
But in the process, I just had like, an eye-opening kind of, session with myself and with some therapists, and figured out that maybe working myself that much wasn't great for my heart and for my lifelong health.
So that's intense. The emergency room work with the hours, and
I loved it.
And just the intensity
those hours killed me because I wouldn't sleep when I got off work. I was one of those people that like got off work but did things and never slept. And so at that point I said, maybe I'll just do primary care pediatrics because I had a board certification in it. So about 3 years ago, I decided to go work at a local pediatric office, like right by the perimeter, and just do that and work in the ER 3-4 times a month to keep up my skills. And that's what I've been doing until now.
Okay. So now, we've got to the doorstep of 2020. Okay. All right. And so then 2020
hit.
So let's talk about, first of all, how did 2020 by itself, just the craziness of 2020 affect you and your world? And then let's talk a little bit about kind of what were those things that made you decide you wanted to pivot.
Okay. I was kind of thinking about it before because the way I practice medicine, I'm a little different. I do regular Western medicine, regular pediatrics, but I also take a kind of quality approach. I want to spend time with my patients, get to know them. The lifestyle medicine part of it is treating some behaviors such as stress, sleep, management, food intake. And so in those visits that I was doing originally, pre-2020, you have to go fast. You know what I'm saying? And so I wasn't doing as much of the lifestyle medicine part, or even taking as much time as I really wanted to take with the families to get to know them.
So on a let's say a full day, how many patients would you see?
I could see at that time about 30-ish in the 30th range, and that was well checks and sick visits. Yeah. Some of the other providers at the practice could see more than that. But I felt like I was in the room with one hand on the door and one foot in. And I felt like it was only fair to the patients that I spent the time that I needed to spend when you come once a year or when you have a problem. So that made me kind of think, maybe I need to figure out a way to be happy and do medicine the way I want to do it. So 2020 hit, and it made it even more so, in my brain that I needed to do it, because it was like, okay, if any time is now. Which makes no sense to a lot of people because they're like, but it's a pandemic. Why are you doing this? But it's just, life is short, and I can't see myself doing things the way that they were. And I want to do my dream and go after what I want to go after. So I decided to start my own practice.